much and very good afternoon. My apologies for coming in late. We were held up in a meeting. We're in the middle of a plan to stage a presidential debate, and that is taking quite a lot of our time. That's where I've been spending the whole morning in, just planning. It's in 2 weeks' time, on the 11th of February, we have the first presidential debate, the first of two indeed. The first one is ever to be jointly held by media. So it will be aired in all television stations and all radio stations. And thank you very much again for indulging me in this. Opinion polls. I heard Angela earlier on calling herself a troublemaker, and I want to confirm she is. Every time she releases opinion polls, we get into trouble as well for covering that. Because opinion polls have become a very controversial issue in this country, opinion polls have become an important reference point. Every time I look at and I'll be reading a couple of SMSs to you on some of the responses we get on opinion polls. Every time we have them released, and every time we receive the results and the responses, it tells me that we are a country that is living in denial in many ways. Opinion polls are first and foremost rejected, especially by those who perceive them as unfavorable. Then the second accused after Angela would be the media. We're not the first accused, we're the second accused. Why do you carry those things? Do you question the methodology? Are you sure they got it right? Are you sure they're not cooked by Angela's relatives? Those are the things we get. But opinion polls, in my view, are a tradition that is yet to take hold, but certainly will in the course of time. If you look at the opinion polls history and what role they play in the American politics, and more importantly, the accuracy of those polls, then I would not understand why Kenyans can be so critical about opinion polls. You can be as critical of opinion polls as you should be about the medical examination, the first one that is taken when you go to a clinic or to see a doctor. They would normally take your pressure, they would also take your temperature. And indeed, it's not impossible to find patients who would say, no, but I don't feel that warm, I don't feel that hot. You're giving me 36 degrees, I'm not feeling that hot. That is what I like in the criticism of opinion polls too. We are in the early stages of something that we will have to live with. From 07, I think, from 02 actually, to eternity. I remember the East African newspaper, weekly newspaper, carried an opinion poll 2 days before the 2002 election. And if you remember the outcome of that particular election, it was spot on. It was accurate. We didn't have a lot of complaints at the time. Now, in terms of the question that has been asked today, whether opinion polls influence us, media houses, and decision makers in newsrooms on where to place candidates, the answer is no. Opinion polls don't influence how we treat candidates. But opinion polls, fortunately or unfortunately, are actually a reflection of the weight of those candidates. They are. Because where do opinion polls originate from? They are questions that are asked. It's not, I don't think Angela and her team sits in a room and then decide, we give 46 to this guy and give another 40. No, it doesn't work that way. The way it works is questions are asked out there. Sampling is done. your views are asked. And they do not. We have our own ways of determining the weight of a story. We try as much as possible to disregard your weight as a personality, because some candidates are certainly heavier than others in terms of many things. We are constantly under pressure to be objective. We are constantly under pressure to be seen as giving everyone an equal opportunity. And indeed, as per the requirements of our trade, we are required to be objective, we are required to be balanced, we are required to be fair. So we do all that, including reporting what the opinion polls do have. The second issue I think that is coming to question today is whether the guidelines for election coverage are being observed. First of all, I would like to indicate that all media houses, and I want to speak on behalf of the Nation Media Group, we do have our own media election coverage guidelines, which we follow to the letter. Broadly, these guidelines talk about objectivity, talk about how to cover opinion polls, how to approach the election, division of airtime, so that you don't have one candidate having more airtime than another. And these are in-house rules, and we follow them to the letter. But that doesn't stop us from getting criticism out there, especially from the presidential campaign teams, especially from governor, aspirants for position of governor, position of Senate, members of parliament. Because the truth is, there will never be enough airtime for all politicians. There will never be enough airtime for all aspirants. And again, even among those that you've allocated time, there will always be questions. They'll say, okay, you've given us 5 minutes each, but why was so and so the first one, and I am the fourth? So these are constant discussions that we have to engage in as we cover politics. But it is impressive to see that the media industry has really expanded, it has really grown. I first covered the first election I covered in my first year of journalism was 1997. And so many years later, there has been a lot that has happened that has even made it easy for what we can call fair coverage of all politicians and all schools of thought. We now have live coverage almost at anywhere. We can report anywhere from live. And there are so many television stations, there are so many radio stations that are able to do this. Meaning indeed that the pressure that the media of 10, 15 years ago faced has actually subsided. But on opinion polls, I keep and I will repeat again, it is a new thing that Kenyans are going to have to learn to live with. There will be a lot of discussions, there will be a lot of disagreements, but going by the trends, and I want to use and I repeat using the US as an example, it's going to be an exciting part of electioneering. We have to constantly measure it. In the US, for example, during presidential debates, you still have live polling. You can actually see what viewers think about the candidates' responses to a particular issue. We look forward to that level of ability to do polling. Politicians may not like it, but it's the right thing. It's the right thing so that it enables people to express what they feel about a particular issue, and instantly. So I think the future is bright. The arguments will be heated, but I think we are looking forward towards a future where opinion polling is almost instantaneous. We currently do SMSs, and the standard response has always been, it's not scientific. Don't worry about it, it's not scientific. Do you agree with the President's appointment of the Inspector General? Yes, 60, no, 40. And they tell us, no. It's just addressing for the screen. But I think the future will confirm that indeed these are things we have to constantly do in a very, very interactive country. Thank you very much.